welcome to Soul Chat series with me, Allison May, and Kayleigh Marie is your Facebook persona of Magpie Moonchild. Did you just listen to the countdown, how it went all wonky and like wasn't keeping the right time? It like went faster and then slower and then faster and then slower, and I was like, oh, this is going to be a powerful session. We're already here now. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us. We're just going to give everyone a moment to check in. I've got this streaming on, where do I have it? On your new group page, which is just y'all. Check that out. I put the link up, and then in our SaiYunaste Soul Tribe, obviously, and then Soul Collective, because Miss Kayleigh just became an official approved reader of Soul Collective this week. It was so great. I know that you spent a lot of beautiful time on Ascending Butterflies too, which is so beautiful. In our sister group, yeah, we've had just so many. We just kind of we move around, guys.
We do.
It's like different continents. We're like, we've been here, now let's go over here. Just kind of feeling it out, letting ourselves ebb and flow. A lot of the reasons we all have our own like little group pages is because we've had a very fun time with spammers. So we've moved from our pages into group settings, so we just have the ability to really keep things intimate and safe and all that good. So that was a lot of the reason. I know that you put together Magpie Moonchild, you were coming across that issue. You're also in TikTok though, right? Like, how's the TikTok? Is it?
Well, it is. It's fine. I just kind of, I'm a bit sporadic on there. So if I feel like I want to do, I do like my weekly focus cards. I had a bit of a break recently because you have to put self-care first. But yeah, and I put like tarot tips up on there and all sorts. Just whatever comes in, you just kind of do between a minute or, I'm so glad they've made 3 minutes because a minute was really hard to do. But yeah, 3-minute video and just pick it up and eventually people see it and it's just out there forever then. So it's really cool. I like TikTok. You can lose 3 days on there though, easily.
Do you do lives on there too?
Who?
Do you do lives, the TikTok lives? Have you done that?
No, not yet. You have to have a certain following on there before you can do lives, and I haven't reached that yet. So
I know nothing about TikTok other than Tina is on it.
And Tina's awesome on there.
Yeah, we have some amazing. Yeah, Deb Clark's from Language Awakening and Mystic Heart Space. She's on there too.
And Rebecca's on there as well. Rebecca McCann's on there as well. Yeah.
There's a lot of really good Mystical Gypsy. There's some really good crews on there.
Yeah, so. Nick's on there as well. Northern Awakening's on there as well.
Nikki Mendoza, yeah. Go check out TikTok, you guys, if you're interested in checking out the TikTok world. I'm still.
I love TikTok.
I know some people are super into it. Nancy Taylor loves it too. Our soul coder.
Oh, I love Nancy. Her deck got back. I'm so excited for that.
Right. Oh my gosh, this is such a beautiful segue to come in. So, friends, in case you don't know, Kayleigh has been studying the tarot for almost 20 years.
It's 16, but I love that you round that up to 20.
That's like 20.
Yeah.
So I'm super interested in how you came to tarot and how you came to your knowing of your intuition. How did your journey start?
How did it start? Well, originally, my earliest memory of anything tarot is my mum. Well, it's cartomancy. My mum had a reading. Thank you, darling. My mum had a reading when I was a kid, I think. And there was this woman, I think she was Mary something in North Devon, and she used playing cards to do a reading. And this woman did a reading, and she said, "Oh, your brother's called Simon." And she was like, "No, I don't. My brothers are called Colin and Russell or whatever." And so she came out of there and kind of poo-pooed the whole reading. It's so lucky it was recorded. And she came out and she spoke to her sister afterwards. And she went, yeah, that's our half-brother. Our half-brother's called Simon because my granddad had an affair and there was another child. But yeah, their half-brother was called Simon. And she was like, oh my God, even I didn't know that. There was no way she could know that.
Wow.
And then I was in an abusive relationship when I was like 19, 20. And I came out of it, and I think a lot of people find spirituality when they're in like their darkest days, their dark night of the soul. Yeah. So I had a tarot reading because you just kind of want to hear when you've been through that, like you're not going to be alone forever, as shallow as that sounds. But that's kind of what people cling to, that somebody's going to save you, or you're going to find love again, or proper love, or whatever. And I had this tarot reading, and it said, "Oh, the person that you're meant to be with has dark hair and blue eyes, and you've already met them." Sorry, my cat animals are going mad.
Yes.
You've already met them, you already know them, and you'll meet them at the end of March. And I went out the whole of March, and I kept bumping into an ex who did have dark hair and blue eyes, but he was with someone else, and he kept cutting. I was like, no, dude, does your girlfriend know you're saying this stuff to me, kind of thing. And anyway, March came and went, and then I went out on the 2nd of April or something, and that was the last time I actually spoke to my horrible ex, because he happened to see him on the way out that night. And yeah, and then my husband Terry was on the dance floor, and we'd gone out when we were 15 and 16. We were our first proper boyfriend and girlfriend. And he was on the dance floor. I didn't see him first. I saw another mutual friend of my abusive ex. And I was like, do I go over there and say hello? Because he didn't really like me, because obviously I was made out to be this crazy person. And then I looked back, and there was Terry dancing, and I just threw my bag at my friend and went over and saw Terry. And I just knew that night that if I kissed him, I'd be stuck with him for ages. And I let him kiss me at the very end of the night. He tried all night, but at the very end of the night, I kissed him, and we together ever since. 16 years. Is it 16? Yeah, 16 years, because that's when I bought it. And I was so convinced, like so sold by tarot. I bought, well, 2 decks, because it's me, 2 decks and a set of runes. And I started learning the tarot, because I was like, I want to do this. I want to do this. I want to be able to do what she just did for me on that phone. And so I just started doing it and dipped in and out of it for a few years. And then about 5 years ago, I went through a really rough time again. I had like a bit of a mental breakdown, and my agoraphobia kicked in hard. And so I was having clinical hypnotherapy, and at the same time I was like, my deck's just not working for me. So I bought another deck, and it was the Wild Unknown. It's an incredible deck. It's so dark, but it has the rainbows through it, for like that hope. And I just love the contrast of it, and it was just incredible. And I picked it up, and that's been my deck for me ever since. I don't use it in readings for anybody else. That's my deck. And I just started going to daily practice, daily diving, going deeper into learning more about the tarot, all the different layers, the different points of views. Started collecting an insane amount of decks, because I just wanted to know more and more and more about tarot. I just wanted to see all these different perspectives of, and it's not just the normal like relation. Everybody has a reading on relationships or a career, or that's naturally what you want to know about. But there is so much more to tarot that you can use. You can use it in spell work. You can use it for personal development, shadow work, things that you. And the thing I love about tarot is it doesn't sugarcoat anything. It tells you what is wrong. It tells you how to fix it. It's up to you to listen to it. It's what you want to do with it. But yeah, I just love it. I love it. I learn something new with it every single day, and I never get bored. And I just love it so much. I just love it, and I think everyone should do it.
I just love so much how you incorporate it in your everyday moments. Like when we hang out and chat when we do our healing sessions together, or just even chatting, you are constantly tuning in and really, it's almost as the cards are just kind of confirming what your intuition's already telling you, and kind of allowing like meat and potatoes of the storyline, right? Like you've got it going, and you're like, well, tell me more, and allowing that really to be. I love that so much. I kind of want to like take a few steps back and really explore how the tarot helps with shadow walking and healing it and going in depth within the trauma, because you were saying in the beginning that was something that really pushed you through your own dark night of the soul and finding your own spirituality. So can you expand a little bit more about how that helps others?
So for me personally, obviously pulling a card every day gave me an energy to focus on or look out for, and it kind of keeps you in the moment from that point of view. It keeps you in this day, it keeps you in what's happening now. And equally, sometimes if you find a really good spread that really can go into everything, and there are shadow work spreads, it kind of allows you to tap into your higher self. So it's, and like you say, the intuition, it really does help you. It's just a tool. It's just a medium at the end of the day. When you start off, you think it's amazing, this huge thing that you're never going to learn, or you're not worthy of, or there are a lot of gatekeepers out there. I personally think everyone should do it, and it should be accessible, but it allows you to tap into your higher self. And as you're doing that, and as you're trusting your intuition, you're healing yourself, because you're trusting yourself, which is the biggest thing. And as you start to trust yourself, you start to trust everything. Whatever you're doing internally allows you to as within, so without. So as above, so below, as within, so without. That's very much the essence of working with spirituality for me. And it also gives you, kind of like puts you in, it's a bit like looking down on your body when you have an out-of-body experience. You're kind of looking down and going, okay, this is the situation. You're taking yourself out of the emotional place and going, okay, this is what I need to work on. And you think something else is giving you that message, and yeah, it kind of is, but it's really just your higher self that's doing it. And it's, for me personally, it was like I would do a spread on what to do in a relationship, and when you're asking tarot, what do I need to work on, it means that you're taking on that responsibility for what you need to work on yourself, what is affecting you and how you react to that, how you're going to change your behavior. It tells you how to help you change your behavior. And to be honest, most of shadow work is dealing with those deeper issues that you have been shamed for, whether that's your sexuality, your sexual preference. Like for me personally, I'm pansexual. A lot of my family don't even know that about me. I mean, we're in a kind of privileged position in that we're a straight presenting couple. So that side of me, tarot allowed me to explore that part of myself, to recognize that part of myself, like where I fit on a spectrum, if I even want to label it. And also to look at, even within my abusive relationship, and yes, he did those things to me, but there is an element of myself where I didn't set boundaries, or I didn't walk away, or I didn't tell anyone that it was wrong. I did have someone that helped me through it, and I am forever grateful to them for me. But at the end of the day, I got myself through that, which Laura has helped me recognize that it's me that gets me through that. And it's just about, gives you a way of looking, a different perspective of looking into the deeper ways of where you need to heal and how you can heal. So you can say it's somebody else telling you that. Like, I had used somebody else's voice in my head for so many years to tell me how beautiful I was or how wonderful I was. At the end of the day, I was just using another medium, another person's voice. And that's all tarot and oracle cards are. It's another person's voice, but it's really yourself telling you what you're getting from that medium.
And so with that, and going and working every day and pulling a card, and what really stuck with me in the beginning of telling this is really like staying in the present moment of now. And so what I'm hearing about that is it allows you to kind of like push all the anxiety and the stress and the worry away, right? And almost just allow you to work with this one little piece so it's manageable, because especially coming through those times, and removing ourselves from what's comfortable, even though it's not great for us, or it's very often horrible, just being able to work with that. I just thought that was such a beautiful point of really just being able to do that. And then, it is about really taking your power back, like the way that you told that, it's like every day you're making that choice to yes or no, or to focus, and that really helps you get out. That's just so amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that. It's really, coming into the tarot, right? It's very mystical, I mean, they've painted it and there's so much propaganda out there.
They had to, because when you think about the Romanis in World War II, if they were found with tarot cards, they knew they were Romanis, and the Nazis would put them into the concentration camps, because it was obviously genocide. They were trying to find anything they could prove that you were a certain thing that they could persecute because you weren't their lines. So I get why there is this mysticism around it, that you have to be given a deck because you have to be trusted that you could maintain and hide that tool. So I totally respect like where that came from, where all that gatekeeping comes from. And obviously, even like historically, I mean, if you're a woman who can tell the future, you're either seen as a seer and used by whatever power is in place, or you're persecuted as a witch, or of somebody. It's either there's this dichotomy of you're either on their side and holy, or you're the devil incarnate for it, which is another reason why some people are scared to use tarot or any tool, any spiritual tool, because there's this attachment to it historically that it is satanic or evil or dark, and it's not. It's whatever you're using it for. It's a neutral tool. It's like the runes. It's like a pendulum. No matter what you're using, it's a neutral tool. It's how you use it with intent. What your intent is, why you use it, and the ethics you use it with. I'm not saying there aren't dark energies around, but it's how you protect yourself. It's how you bubble up or cleanse or protect your space and your energy. But yeah, no, I see why there's the gatekeeping or gatekeeping as such. I see why people had to protect it. But I think we're in a much more accepting environment now where it can now be used as a self-care tool. It can be used as a self-enlightenment tool. And I think it's incredible for that.
Yeah, I agree with that. And something that I really just adore about what you do as as a life attunement coach, because that's really what you do. You use I've labeled you because I know you're not into labels, guys. And that label is also, that's something that resonates with me as well. Just so you all know, like Life Attunement Coach came from Jared, because he was like, you guys just use all of these things to tune into someone's life and coach them through it and help those get to where they need to go. Because I know we've talked about this a little offline, and I want to cover it now, is really helping people get enough like movement to get help, like to find a therapist, to go to the dentist, go to the doctor, like really just give them that connection that they're worthy of care, and I think that's so much that what you've done with your practice, and which is why I'm so moved by this Life Attunement Coach, guys. Like Jared may totally trademark this for us, is that that you use these beautiful tools to help give people a connection and a comfortability, and to tell a story. Something that I really love that you do all the time. And it's like, not just in your readings, but when we connect individually, is you just lay it out and you're like, oh, I can see it right here. And there's just something about having that card, in front of you. Right.
Yeah.
And you've done so many things with that too, like prepping for healing sessions. You've pulled cards and have prepared that way. What got you into really collecting the decks, and you do reviews for them. You have a whole YouTube channel with that, which is so cool. Can you talk a little bit more about like how that came to be, and like what decks really speak to you and why? And yeah.
So there are 3 cards that I absolutely adore in tarot, and it's very controversial because they are the 3 of Swords, which is the grief card, the Tower, because that's like the full collapse of everything. People fear it because it's actually a neutral energy, but yeah. And the Death card, because that's transformation. And yes, these things are painful, but they are necessary, and we have to work through them, because when we suppress them, they just grow, and it becomes more painful and more work to do. So whenever I'm like looking at, obviously you're in the tarot forums and groups, because I'm learning every day. I'm finding out new things every day, new ways to apply things. And it's not just from people that are experienced, it's like from people that are still learning as well. Like Jared a couple of months ago did like a reading with the 3 of Cups, and he said it's like the 3 fates. And I was like, oh my God, that applies. Oh my goodness, I'm so stealing that now. And there's just so much to learn about it. So you're in all these groups and you're seeing all these things, and then you see a deck and you're like, what is that deck and where can I get it? And it's like, because the artwork just speaks to you. There's a point of view that you can recognize, if that makes sense. You see a part of yourself in this artwork, like somebody is expressing the way you feel about something. So often it's the 3 of Cups that will pull, the 3 of Cups, not 3 of Cups, the 3 of Swords that will pull me in, because there's a lot of grief and trauma that I've had to deal with. So that for me, that happens. And, I've had Tower moments where everything has come collapsing down. Sorry, it's my dog staring. These are the things that kind of apply to me. And there's also like, and it's just different artworks and different points of view. So if it's like, a queer-based deck, I'm there for it. I'm all about representation and diversity in a deck. If I find a deck and every figure in it is white, it actually upsets me, because I'm thinking, especially if it's a mass-produced deck, because somebody needs to be monitoring what they're producing through their publishing house, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
From that point of view, I just love all these different plus I'm reading for so many different people that what I use in a traditional deck may not cover what I intuitively know we're going to need to cover in a reading. Say if it's a sexual relationship reading, like chemistry, how people relate to each other, then I'm going to use a more erotic deck because you want that imagery to tie in with that reading that you're doing. If it's a work-based deck, then or a financial deck, like when we were selling our house to buy this one, I used the Witch's Tarot, and that's my financial deck, and it told me who was going to buy my house. Well, it told me, I told myself, but that's the medium I used to tell me who was going to buy our house and how much they were going to pay for it. So I have different decks that do different things depending on the artwork, and some I'm a magpie, right? So if I like it and it's shiny and it speaks to me and I like it, I'm just going to buy it because I'm like, that's amazing, I need that. And the way I see it is I buy a lot more independent decks rather than mass-produced ones. I do have plenty of mass-produced ones. I'm not by any means saying I don't, but because I feel like somebody's put their soul and their story into that deck. So by buying that deck and supporting that, like Nancy with her Kickstarter, that's her purpose. She's channeled those. So you're then supporting an artist, somebody that has slaved hours of love and emotion and energy into those cards. They deserve to be rewarded for that. So yes, maybe that's enabling myself to collect them, but that's how I'm justifying it.
Right. I mean, but we collect artwork in all ways, right? And beautify our worlds. But you know what you really touched on, which I'm so intrigued in. There's two parts to this. So you have all this beautiful decks, and you said you have certain ones for certain kinds of questions to be answered yourself and other. So when folks like schedule a session with you, I know you tune in energetically, of course, but do you typically like kind of know, and or most people like, I have questions about these, or do you ask them to see if there's any questions so you can just kind of feel how the river is going to go?
Depends how I deliver the reading. If I'm delivering it as a pre-recorded, not pre-recorded, that makes it sound like there's just a generic one. But if they have asked for a recorded reading, because not everybody's comfortable on a video call or face-to-face, so I do recorded ones, so I will record them for them. Then they have asked a specific area for it to be covered or whatever. So I will then pick the deck for that. And there's probably more than one that will do it. And then it's just, I literally use my hands going, where are we going? And it will tell me with my hands where I'm supposed to be going. A bit like when you do Reiki, really, and you know where you're supposed to go.
Yeah.
If it's for a video reading, then I tend to take 3 or 4 out. I'll have my generic Rider-Waite-Smith deck, the traditional, that very bright, almost harsh deck, because I know if nothing else reads, I can go back to the energies of those cards that I studied the most on. There's a reason why they're the go-to for so many people, and I think that's because it's kind of like the default generic level that you can read tarot. Do you know what I mean? There's a baseline for the energy that people have. We are all same sort of energy. So and then I will take out another couple that I feel are what I need. Plus, if it's not that far away, if I don't have the one I need, I can just go and grab it.
Oh wow.
It's just intuitive. So it's just your intuition guiding you. It's trusting that I know I have the right deck for the right person. And I do have my staples out there. Like I have the Moonchild one with me, or like I say, Rider-Waite-Smith, and I'll have the Moonology cards because they speak so much about phases and cycles. And you have your staples, and then there's the fun ones that come in. So
yeah, you've got some really fun decks. I think the most fun was when Jared sent you the My Little Pony, and you're like, yes, and you did it, and you love them, and
I did. I love them, and they're just tiny size, and they've got all my favorite rarities on it. I think she's a Chariot, and that's my card. So I was like, amazing. I think that video goes up on Tuesdays or Monday. I think it's scheduled to go up because I've rescheduled everything now. So yeah, that one goes up Monday, I think. So,
I'm excited to see that. Yeah, I really love how you've taken all this time to review these decks and talk about them, just using them all in your daily life. Are you finding now, like with your sessions, that there's kind of like an overall theme? I'm hearing in the spiritual world that there's kind of like a flow of a particular energy coming through, that there's a almost like a universal piece of our soul tribe, or other soul tribes are kind of coming together. Are you feeling that same kind of rhythm and that same kind of like the questions coming up?
Something's coming up. I'm finding less and less relationship ones, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But I think that's because when I sort of say to people, if they book a reading, they just make sure that you vibe with my energy. Here's my channel to go and watch some of my readings to see if my style is what you're looking for, because you have to make sure you have the right reader for you, because if you don't vibe on the same energy, you're not going to get the message that you're necessarily going to be needing, because that's the other thing. I read what you need to hear, not what you want to hear, if that makes sense, because I'm telling you what you need to grow, not, oh yeah, they will come back. And I think because I'm not anti twin flames, but I really don't like the way the concept has been Disneyfied, if that makes sense. Like, it's this fairy tale ending and you're going to come together and have this wonderful thing, because yes, in genuine twin flame relationships, you do have that runner chaser element before you come back into union, but that's over lifetimes. It's not this lifetime. And what really concerns me, and I never use the term twin flames lightly, because you've got to really make sure you're not sending someone back to a toxic relationship that's going to do damage to them. So I think because I'm not telling people that, because people come in and go, when am I going to meet the person I'm supposed to be with? I mean, I've done that myself, right? That's how I found Terry.
Right.
But so I appreciate that point of view, but I also think that maybe, or I read, the way I read is, yes, I will tell you if someone's coming in or not, but most of the time spirit will tell me that this person isn't going to come in until you've done this work on yourself to get yourself ready for this person to come in, because until you're a whole person on your own, and as I call it, the whole ice cream sundae with the cherry on top on your own, somebody else comes in as your extra cherry to complement that, to enhance that, not to complete you. Another person can't complete you, you can only complete yourself. So I think because that's my kind of energy, and if people don't want to hear, because sometimes we don't want to hear the work we have to, I mean, I read my own cards and go, no, I'm going to shuffle again, because you do that. I don't want to hear that. You shuffle it and the same card will come out. So I can't avoid my own cards, but people can avoid me as a reader telling them that they're not going to find that person in the next 6 months, that maybe that person is maybe 3 years away, but you've got all this work to do before they can even come in for you. And if you do that work sooner, then maybe they'll come in sooner. That's just how I read. And I think because I'm not doing that cherry sugarcoating, like, oh yeah, they'll come in. I think a lot of people don't necessarily want that from me in that moment, but I'm here to tell you how you can learn to do your shadow work, to like yourself, to build yourself up, where you need to focus. Do you need to focus on your work, your career, or your life path? Do you need to work on your confidence? Do you need to work on past trauma? Do you need to work on those parts that you've been told to make yourself small, to make yourself quiet, to make yourself convenient, to make yourself, because that's what shadow work is. It's everything, dealing with everything that you've been told is shameful, that isn't acceptable, because as a human race, we're naturally innately built to need to be a collective, to need to be interconnected. We are a very societal race, so to be included, to be accepted, to not be shamed and shunned and ostracized, you have to put the shadow self away. But shadow work is about going, well, I know people may not like the fact that I'm opinionated, but that is part of me. So you can either choose to, whether you choose to show that and become an opinionated person externally, or just go, do you know what? Yeah, that's a part of my personality, but this is how I adjust myself.
Yeah.
Then you are at least bringing that shadow self into, you don't have to show everything in your shadow, but you have to at least accept it and love that part of you. So yeah, that's what I love. That's how I read, because you should be working on that part of yourself, or how you navigate that part of your work.
Yeah. So. And that's really where your life attunement coaching comes in, right? Because here's that label for that, or that category for our beautiful, sweet analytical brains to be like, oh, that's what's happening, right? Because you're using all of this and really working through that and getting to the roots and to really expose so much and what you just said was like so great. Like learn to like love that part of you and just decide how you want to progress with that or heal it or whatever that is. And, you know, going to that is just so spectacular. I'm so glad you brought that up. So just for everyone joining us, hi, how are you? Thank you so much for joining the Soul Chat today. I'm with Kayleigh Marie Hopkins of Magpie Moonchild. She's got her own page in a group, and we're streaming the group now, so go check that out. Of course, you've been a life attunement coach for a while now. We just didn't have a name for it, right?
I love it. And if Jared's giving us the title, I know it. He's my teacher now, so with the runes. So, and that's like a whole nother level. That's just deeper.
Yeah, I'm excited for you to incorporate that. And like just how you're talking about the first letter of your name and like what that really meant. There's some, like, and I think I just see you like going in like a whole direction with that, with like the first letters of names and stuff. Oh man, my whole brain's like, we're gonna talk about that later.
Well, so language has come in a lot for me lately. Like I randomly started learning Welsh in February. I think I watched RuPaul's Drag Race and I was like so in love with Tay. So, and they didn't speak Welsh, and they grew up in Wales, and I was like, oh my god, I need to learn Welsh. And then I started doing it, and then I did a meditation like about a month or so later. I think it was when I had my activation actually, and I had the whole like I was told I had to do Hebrew and learn languages. Like languages was the key. It was all to do with Babylon. And then I had a meditation, and Bronwyn come in and spoke to me and put this crown on my head and lifted my head and said, you are a goddess. Don't ever, ever let you drop your head. I mean, I ignored it for a while there, but it's back up again. But it just all kind of tied in, like a lot of things all tied in, like the whole language thing for me. I think I'm supposed to find, because that's why we call it spelling, right? Because the runes and the symbols were used for magic, for work, for energetic work. So I think that's why my witchy side is like, I need to know about languages. I need to know the true power of the words and to be mindful of what I'm using those words for. And then the whole soul language thing coming through, it's just like, it's amazing.
That's another level, right?
I got a new dialect today. That was quite exciting.
Yeah, it's so great. And so you really just kind of embraced like through tarot and through your work and coming where you are right now. And it is adding like another foundation of healing, you know, taking Reiki and learning the foundation for that and seeing where that goes, and really allowing yourself to just kind of embrace that and use it all as part of your coaching, which is just so magnificent, because it really, something that I think that is you convey so well is that you truly accept the person in front of you wholly for who they are and what they are and who they want to be and what they want to be. And there's no judgment. I know like when we connected, the first time we connected, I felt so comfortable and safe in your space, and you're like, and you just said the things like, hey, I might get the information wrong. We're working on this together. Like really like good coaching stuff. Really, and you were just so open and took that extra time. And I know that you do this with all of your clients because I've spoken to a couple of them. And I'm just really excited for you to really kind of take off. And like, I'm just so excited, like for like all the programs that are coming and the classes that are coming, like y'all keep an eye, like there's things that are coming out that are really going to just help heal ourselves, each other, the world, find our soul tribe, get all that. So really good. So we're right about that half an hour. So I'm going to open up the floor. If anyone has any questions that are hanging out, like Kayleigh and I can literally talk for like 7 hours straight. So it's
5.5 hours the other day.
I didn't feel that long. I can never tell I hang up. I was like, oh, 20 minutes. And my kids are like, I'm so hungry. Like, where have you been? I'm like,
go find your dad.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so funny. I love it. Yeah. It's just so great. I don't know. I really like, and the healing, I think too, is something that I just enjoyed so much about how pulling the cards before that, setting the intention and really like going in and how, for those of you who don't know, Kayleigh and I are in an everyday group that we're forming, and we've been practice working together as a healers collective in the way that we heal. And, you know, it's like our own healing style. And the more and more we work together, right, and this is like the collective thing, we're like starting to have like similar experiences, like when you meditate with someone, right? And it's so interesting to hear from the person that is in receiving the work, the energy, and the healing to really get into that. And for them to have, they're like, oh, this, and this. And then to have the other healers there and being like, oh, it's because of this, or I had this experience, I think that's been so great. And you've done such a beautiful job. You have that great pyramid pool of like who is representing in, right, as each of our own, like a goddess. And I love that. And do you ever get, oh, okay, Allie, I'm going to ask you a question, but do you ever get tired of doing it? Like, are you ever like wake up and you're just like, I just don't feel like it today, right? Like,
I'm born to do this. This is what I was supposed to do. And there are people that do like 3-hour lives and they're like drained, and I'm like 3-hour lives and going until 2 o'clock in the morning, because I think when we heal other people, we heal ourselves as well. So yeah, I know I love it. I could never get bored. I will bore people with it. I've got a friend on the school run who asks me questions like, oh, what did you do? Or how was your reading? Or she's truly enthusiastic. I love her dearly. And I'm like, I don't know how much to share, because even now, I know it's more open now, but you're like, are people going to think I'm crazy? Like, and I know I'm not crazy. I know I have this gift and I know I have whatever, but there's a way of, it's always like the wedge, right? You have to go in at a certain level before people go, why are you talking random words and sounds? Except I told my kids off earlier in soul language and they understood me. So, because it's beautiful. You can't lie in soul language. So, I love it. I don't ever get bored. And if somebody starts talking to me and I see they're like okay with it, then yes, I'll go off to a certain extent. Maybe not to the extent that we go in our environment and our collective groups, but to a certain level, especially about tarot, I could just, and I'm like, I'll teach you tarot. What do you want to know? Yeah. So I think that's the next step for me is to write my tarot course and to looking at how to mentor people. Yeah,
I love it. Yeah, you're going to be really busy to the end of the years. Allie in the comments has a great question. She said, how long after you started learning tarot did you feel confident enough to read for other people professionally? And I love that story because it's so good.
So obviously I had the clinical hypnotherapist who did amazing work with me. I just so in love with her. She's like my soul mother. Like she gave me tools that I needed. And I've used those tools recently, and I hit hard, but I bounced back really relatively quickly because of the work she'd done, and I still use. So while I was having this hypnotherapy, obviously I was talking about tarot because that's the tool that I was using alongside from me to learn confidence. She was building my confidence and reminding me of my worth and doing all that. And obviously I guided my goals. She never once told me what to do. She just asked me what I wanted to do, and I would make that choice. And as we had our last session, I think it was about 6 months or so after we'd started, because I was proper broken. And there's all this trauma to deal with.
Right.
And she obviously said, oh, bye. She shook my hand or whatever, or gave me a hug or whatever. And she said, you're supposed to read tarot, right? And I was like, huh? And she went, you're supposed to read tarot. You read all these things and you know things are going to happen. And this is what you're supposed to do. And I was like, yeah, okay. So that was only so I'd been reading for like 11 years at this point. And I was like, oh, I don't know. I'm not good enough. Am I confident enough? Because I very much want to make sure that what I'm doing isn't going to let down somebody else's expectations. I don't want to let people down. I don't want to not meet a level that I would expect from another person. Mm-hmm. I'm probably harsher on myself than I am on another person. So yeah, I started doing it, and I read for a couple of people, like my brother, and I think he did it just to be nice because I was talking about it, and I wasn't very confident. And I was like, I'm not sure I can say this or whatever. And it's hard. I think it's harder to read for people you know than people you don't, if that makes sense, because you know a little bit of stuff and you're not sure. And people aren't always like, I have friends that ask, oh, I want to read it, and I'm like, you need a reading. Do you want me to read for you? Or I say, do you want a reading? If I'm saying to you and you're my friend, do you want a reading? It's because I kind of know you want a reading. And they're like, oh, I don't know what will come up. And I'm like, well, I don't know. That's the point.
Right. That's why we're doing it.
Yeah,
right.
They're secrets, right? That they don't want me to know. I mean, that's what major arcana means. Big secret, or minor arcana, little secret. So, or little, yeah. So it's kind of like, it was really hard to read for people that I knew. And still, like, and so I was in all these tarot groups, and I'm doing these energy exchanges, like, can you do this for a review? So I was building up the reviews on my page, or feedback, just feedback of how accurate I was, because unless you know what's wrong, you don't know how to grow and develop. You have to fall down in order to grow. When you're comfortable, you're not growing. When you're uncomfortable, that's when you know where to go. So I was doing all this, and then I had a reading with Minty, and it was only in January, I think. Minty, it was literally the start of the year. I think it was literally like after the bank holiday, I had the reading. And I booked it in with Minty, and he said, "Oh, you do this?" And I was like through the reading, and I was like, "Yeah, I do that. I read this." And he goes, "You should be charging." And I was like, "Okay." And he said, "Oh, and you need to do Reiki as well." And there was a load of other stuff. But I come away and I booked a Reiki course, and I did the Reiki course. So yeah, I'm quite new to Reiki. So, but I'm loving it. It's another modality to add. And then I just went, right, okay, I'm going to start. So I started doing more free readings with a view to it has to be for a review. And I started taking little readings and bits and bobs. And then Laura, I did a live with Kitty in Soul Collective when they did their whole unapproved readers can come and do a live. It's amazing. You should do it. And I think I can do that now, right?
Yeah, I have a list. I'm going to set it up. We kind of got like, I knew this summer was going to be this way. We were like, hey, just have them ready to go. So I am going to actually, just to sideswipe you just a second for anyone who's listening, I'm going to open that up again for like another 24 hours just to get some more names for people feeling good about it. And then we're going to set off running. So yeah, please continue. So that happened.
I did the live with Kitty, and it was amazing. I was so pumped, and I love Kitty. So that was another friend made, right? That's the thing with this. You make more friends along the way. Your tribe finds you, or you find your tribe as you're doing it. And then I was in Ascending Butterflies with Laura, and Laura's like, you can come and do a live with me. We'll do a live. And so she did a live with me, and she goes, you will be doing a live on your own soon. And I was like, oh, okay. So did a couple more lives with Laura, and then I did my own. And then I did the weekly focus card each week in the group. And there was the odd one with Bridget and Laura, or Bridget. Yeah. Or, I never did one with Gail. And I'm a bit sorry I never did one with Gail. But you know what I mean? That like a change where I was and what I was doing.
Yeah.
And what was going on with both of us at different times. But yeah, so I was in Ascending Butterflies, and obviously that took off, and it's a beautiful, beautiful space. But then when I had my break, it was kind of like, well, what do I want to do? What do I want to do with my thing, like my path? What do I need to focus on for me? And everyone kept saying, well, I have my own page, but I always made sure I had my own page. So I wasn't like, it's Laura's group, it's Laura's business. I was very respectful of the fact that that's Laura's business. So yeah, you naturally just move into a different space. Yep. And then I was like, okay, I'm on my own. So I'll start my group. So because I'm very aware that when you do lives on Facebook Lives, there are spammers that jump on. I mean, I've had literally pick a card posts on my page, and spammers have come on that and tried to contact people. So yeah, I just kind of wanted to move it back into the state where you can control who's in the group, so people aren't spamming. It just makes it safer for everybody. And plus, some people don't want a public page to share parts of themselves on a public page. So it kind of gives you that more safe, carving out a safe space to share energy. So yeah, it just naturally happened. And then Soul Collective happened kind of around the last couple of weeks. Yeah, it was set up for a call, and then on Monday, was it Monday? I can't remember what day it was.
Yeah,
I don't even know what day it is today. Yeah, welcome aboard. And I was like, oh my god, I'm just so thrilled, honestly, genuinely so thrilled to be a reader now.
Yeah, it's really nice. We just have such a like our bigger group, if that's what you want to call them. We all kind of like really have like a niche within the whole sphere, right? We all hold a different piece, so we're constantly, and for everyone who's watching, that's why we're always like, oh, go to this person, or oh, check this person out, or like we're always course directing each other, because the overall goal is your journey, right? That's what we're here for. So I just love it. Yeah, like definitely, like Ascending Butterflies is so deep within the group. yeah, it's just that beautiful shadow work, like really tender spaces. Laura and Bridget and now Gail, like really, and like everyone who's coming up is
Zoe's in there as well now. Zoe's in there, and B, and Fern's in there as well.
Yeah, it's so great.
She's taking a hiatus right now, but she's still in there. She'll be back doing that.
Yeah, it's healing, and there's just so many beautiful. So like there's like a really sweet little space. Then you've got the Soul Collective, of course, which is definitely geared towards like, you know, that's Minty breath, that, you know, Minty and Mand, and kind of we all like came on board there to help like cruise direct too and make sure like everyone's getting where they need to go, because he was just getting so busy and crazy, and you know, more people coming in. And then of course, you know, I came from the other side of the spectrum. I came from Light Language Awakening, so I'm like, soul language, let's go. You know what I mean? And that's so wild. And
I never knew about soul language until I was watching you. I followed Minty into a group, and then I saw you guys, and it was like, wow, what is this? And so I started watching, and then we started watching you and Tina together.
Yeah.
And then there was like you, Tina, and Maggie at one point. Yeah. And Terry was having a bath, and I put it on the telly in our bedroom, and he just went, that hurts my head, that's too much. But he said, but that's what the inside of my head sounds like. So it was like, wow, okay, so maybe that's a way for us to communicate now. Who knows?
Right? Who knows?
But it was the fact that he was saying, oh, I've got, but yeah, even with like, and he's opening up to the whole spiritual world as well, with like, he has his own decks, the kids have their own decks or their own runes, and not because I've told them to, they've asked for them, or they've stolen one off my shelf, or but if they've taken it, it wasn't meant for me. I've got a lovely Brian Froud fairy deck that Abby suddenly had in her bedroom, so yeah. You know, it's and we meditated, and he was doing manifestation meditations, and he was like, I'm going to have a kitchen for this price. And he did. He managed to get that for that price. Well, he had a budget, and he got the kitchen down to that. I mean, it meant more work on the other side of it, but you don't get anything without work, right? There is, you can't just wish and expect it to land in your lap. You have to do the work a little bit. So, yeah, so he got the kitchen. Well, it's still not finished, but it's a cool kitchen.
Right. We're gonna love it. It'll be finished by the time we come and visit, so I'm excited.
Of course it will. That's like what, next year? So
yeah, you've got like a whole year. Whenever they open everything back up again, and we can actually afford to fly. Who knows?
Yeah, I know. It's gonna be crazy for a while, isn't it? They got to recoup their losses. So
yeah, they do. It's crazy like that. I just love it so much. I just love everything that's happening, and you know how we all like are really just creating a greater space, you know, and this goes to just show like when we work together what we can accomplish, guys. And I'm just so grateful. I mean, there's no way like this time last year I could imagine what we're doing now, and how we've connected in so many beautiful souls. And I've had just the honor of witnessing so many people really do the work and grow and breathe themselves into existence as they are, you know. It's just been so beautiful. And to be able to hold space for that. Yeah.
They have that power with it. It's about claiming back your power, taking back those pieces that you were not allowed, but were taken from you in whatever sense, whether you unconsciously allowed them or they were taken by force. You're claiming that all back. It's kind of like soul retrieval in a way, like you're pulling all your pieces back until you're whole. And it's like, even with past life regression, right? You can go back and find, like my anxiety, we could never work out what the true root of my anxiety really was. And then I had a past life regression with Bridget, and the first life I went back to, I fell into the life sort of thing, and I was having how I have a panic attack, but like ramped up to 1,000. And I was a girl in the woods who was being chased by all these men, because I had failed to save the landowner's wife, or the lord's wife, from being ill. They take me in as a healer, and she died. And because some guy I didn't want to marry had issues, he told them all my secrets, like, oh, she's a witch. So that how I have a panic attack, because everybody has panic the same, but it was exactly the same as how I have a panic attack in this life. And it was really surreal. It was really weird. But I mean, I got burned as a witch at the end of it. That was quite surreal. But now I understand why I react that way, to feel that feeling like somebody's going to get me when I'm not at home, because, or that's how it felt. And since I've had that, that aspect of my anxiety has kind of healed a little bit, dissipated. Don't get me wrong. I mean, there's behaviors ingrained in me that I have to unlearn and relearn, but the root severity of it is now eased through this spiritual healing that I've had through past life regression. So there's just so many modalities and there's so much work to do. And I know work is never finished, but it is necessary. So, yeah.
Yeah, I love that so much. Bridget's also in our SaiYunaste Soul Tribe, and we have Wendy Waddell too, who we've worked really closely with PLR, and that stuff's just so wild. And it's even opened me up more, but I see like it's amazing how we keep coming back. Like you just said, like I was a healer and I've been a witch, and it's like we just
I was a Babylonian high priestess, so I was a seer and I was doing all that work as well, rituals there as well. And then in the other life that I went to, I was a druid doing rituals. So it's always been through all those. I mean, you see the lives you're supposed to see for what you're doing right now. I appreciate that. Not every life is going to be that amazing if I keep going through them. But yeah, magic and spirit has been through all of it. So, and I love that so much. Like it just felt like coming home, like, oh, I'm braiding grass with my mum, and it's not just to make a basket. There was a reason behind it. It was magical.
I'm just so excited. Hold on, I'm getting a note. Yes.
I just wanted to make sure I remembered correctly.
I love that. Yes. That was great. I was like a real reporter right there, guys.
On my note. Hold, please. I don't think it would be us talking if there wasn't a hold, please.
No, it wasn't a hold, please. Yeah, so like it just really comes down to like all of us working together, and really like and how the tarot for you is just such a beautiful introduction to like a whole world, you know, of really understanding. You know, you said something earlier today offline. You're like, it's only magic until science catches up.
Yeah, magic is just science we don't understand yet. Yeah.
We'll be doing Stargate soon enough, guys. Yeah, so great. Okay. So we're wrapping up to the end of this hour, and I just want to say thank you so much for making space and time and all of it. Can you kind of pimp yourself out and let people know where they can find you, the YouTube, the TikTok, all of the social media things, and
all of them? I'm on all of them. I have TikTok, which is a little bit of everything, a little eclectic video version of everything. So that is, everything is Magpie Moonchild. Everything is just at Magpie Moonchild. So there's my Facebook page. There's my Instagram, where a lot of my Instagram, I put up a daily poll, but it does feed into my Facebook. Everything's kind of linked. So if I feed it to one, it will feed to the other kind of thing. So much easier. So yeah, I have Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, my YouTube. If you search in Magpie Moonchild, I have the deck reviews on there. There's like, I don't actually know how many are on there. The deck reviews are on there, and weekly tarot scopes. So it's like an energy for your star sign. And then there's a couple of other little video things that are on there, like, but generic. Mostly it's the weeklies at least. Sometimes there's a monthly or a new moon, or if I feel called to do another reading, then there will be another one. Yeah, and if anybody wants to book a reading, the best way to get hold of me is through my Facebook page.
Magpie Moonchild.
Through that, Magpie Moonchild, yeah, and you can either have like a video call one. They're £30 for a reading, and that's like a minimum of half an hour. And I say a minimum because I've never really hit the minimum for half an hour. They tend to be like 45 minutes. I think I have one that was an hour and 25 minutes. It was an incredible read. But you just get it for as long as Spirit gives it to you. And yeah, it can be on anything. Like other than like medical and legal, I don't do those. But anything else, if you want to talk to me about your sex life or your business or a relation, I do relationship reads. I'm not anti-romance, not anti-love. They do come through. I'm not against reading them. But be aware that if I'm going to tell you what you need to hear. And if we don't vibe, if I don't get anything, then I will just send you to someone that's the thing, isn't it? If you can't help someone, we're in a community where if you can't help, at least you can send them off to somebody who can help them, or who they might vibe with better. That's why I send people to the YouTube, not to get them to subscribe, but just so they can see my energy. If you don't feel my energy, then I'm not supposed to read for you. I'm not the person to give you your message right now. So So it's about finding that. And I would always say that that's the most important thing if you're getting a tarot or any reading, any energy work or spirit work, is make sure you vibe with the person. Don't just go there because if somebody recommended them, but check them out, have a look at their work, have a look at their lives, have a look at what they do. And I always say, when somebody leaves a review, I say, can you just be brutally honest? If it didn't resonate, please say that it didn't resonate, because I don't want someone to think that they're coming to me for 100%. First of all, I can learn from that feedback that it didn't resonate or it wasn't 100% accurate, but equally, people are getting a true representation of what they should expect from a reading.
Because they're only human.
And I don't sugarcoat. I'm not rude, but I'm not going to sugarcoat it to you. If I see that, somebody's not right for you, I'm going to tell you that they're not right for you, or somebody around you is not good intentions, or that your person isn't coming in for 5 years. I'm not going to tell you they're coming in just so you walk away happy. I'm telling you what you need. And if I say they're not going to come in, then I'll naturally take the reading to, right, well, where can we work in our life to be ready for when they do come in?
Yeah. And that's where your coaching really starts to shine.
Yeah, because otherwise you're going to have this wonderful person coming in and you're going to be in this uneven energy dynamic because you're going to feel like you're not worthy for this wonderful person. So as long as you're whole yourself, you don't have that lack of, you don't open yourself up to as much codependency, what's the word I'm looking at, disposition to go into a codependent relationship. It's about being interdependent, not codependent. So in anything in life, we all have crutches, right? And it's about how we work ourselves away from the crutches and hold ourselves whole and stronger. So yeah.
Beautifully said. I'm really excited for people to start working with you. If that calls and resonates to you all, like Life Attunement Coach, it's a thing. It's a thing that happens that we've just had to figure out what that was. And thankfully we have Jared to label that, because I was like, oh yeah. He's like, that's what you do. And I was like, no, I guess that's what we do. It's what we do.
That'll do.
Here to support and cruise direct and just be a part of that and help any and all ways that we are capable of doing, and through that. So I so appreciate you taking all of this time. We do have a couple more minutes. I just want to make sure everyone knows where that you can connect with Kayleigh. And of course, you can always PM me directly if you want to connect that way, or you can do through the SaiYunaste website, which I'm still working on because I love tech. And Nancy Taylor Mitchell is really patient with me. So thank you everyone for joining. I so appreciate it. The replay is going to be available. Of course, I'm going to download this and pop it up on our YouTube channel, which I'm having another beautiful soul stepping through, who is, I think, a professional YouTube marketing person and just doesn't know it yet. But she's got all the tags and everything down. I think you know about that kind of stuff. I have no idea. So I'm learning.
My TikTok, she's there. Her and Gina are there. Yeah, and Rebecca.
It's so wild, right? You're just like, okay.
And I'm like, there's another one.
Yeah. So yeah, you guys, if you're interested in learning more about any of that stuff, please reach out. Know that we're here. Our books are open. Schedule a session. Schedule multiple. Whatever works. We're gonna figure it out. Just be around. Invite people into the spaces that you feel that would resonate with. Get the word out, and eventually we'll be in those physical retreat centers.
Yeah, my dream to have to be in a retreat, or have a retreat, or have that environment where if somebody wants to literally chop wood as therapy, they can go and chop wood. If that's all they need that day is chop or float in water. All right, Sarah.
And then you get to eat at the end. Okay, perfect. My guides are like, we have things to talk about on private lines. So I'm going to hang up for now. Thank you everyone so much for joining in the live or the replay. Thank you for sharing out. Thank you for your support. And especially big thanks to everyone who participated in the Cosmic Heart Festival. It looks like we're still accepting donations for that directly. We're still doing that stuff. So it looks like it's going to hit $9,000, but we're also going to put where you can donate directly to Emery's fund. I just really appreciate everyone doing that. I'm really glad that Tina took a little bit of a break. And now, of course, she's back on. And she's pretty much booked through August, guys. So if you, it's getting crazy. We're getting booked. So if you're feeling it, do it. Like, just lean into allowing that. And if I'm not the right person, if Kayleigh's not the right person, you know, like, we're all here to help you where you need to go. And that includes like finding therapists and medical professionals in that realm too. Like we've got.
Oh yeah, always. That's the underline, isn't it? We're not professionals in that field. You need someone in that field.
Yeah.
Always recommend going to see a professional in the relevant field. And
we'll help you find the right one. Totally. Like, we're going to do it. All right. It's now hitting that hour. Thank you all so much for coming. I'm ending the broadcast, and then to say a proper goodbye to my sweet Kayleigh Marie. So beautiful. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
Magpie Moonchild. Because we're talking about moon pies.
I know.
We're going to stay on for like 2 extra seconds because we're going to open an American bakery and make moon pies. I'm going to call them Magpie Moonchild. Moon pies.
Moonpie Magchild.
Moonpie Magchild. Yeah, that. I know words. So, love you all so much. Thank you. We will catch you later. Oh, yeah, because I'm doing Deborah Clark on Friday. It's going to be on my soul chat. Man, I need a theme song. All right, theme songs. It's on my list. Making a list. All right, bye, guys.